Hello and welcome back to Songs of Six. Oh my, oh my. The title of this video, I haven't thought of it yet, but it's gonna have to represent how bombastic the city has become. I have done so much in so little of time, and to properly go over it, I can't scroll over it and show you guys like I normally would. That would take ages. It would take forever. But we have done an entire city revamp, and that's probably the name. City revamp, because that's what it is. We revamped the hell out of the city. Starting from the northern districts, going down, look at that Cantorian boy. Yes. Look at that big old blue boy. Yeah, I love you, man. He's one of 25 beautiful cantors in this city. We have pretty decent resources. As you can see, some are low, like fabric and clothing, but others are extremely high, like 13,000 tools. Our iron's a little bit low. A couple other things are low, but we have a lot of paper, tons of alcohol. And the way I'm achieving that is by basically buying it. You can see I have no money. I spent all of it somehow on paper, which is crazy to think that paper could drain my $10 million. And I still need more. But regardless, let's take a look at the top left. Where is it? Should be New Harmony here. Here it is. So, I don't know what the point of these are. Half the time I don't even use them, but I'm going to try to. Here we are. We're in New Harmony. And while I go over these regions, I'm going to probably be fixing them up because there's certain things I missed, like this. I didn't get these little roads inside their doorways. I don't know why. Sometimes it does that, but when you copy them over, they don't. So I copied this district. So this is the Talapi district. You get these nice new grand walls. I went and replaced all of the walls and I expanded it out a little bit further. I went and built the Talapi, their own little home district. We've got the restaurant for them. Speaking of which, we don't have that in there. We got a little warehouse for that. We got a market, shrine, some guard posts, as well as a food stall, little stage, and all of their housing kind of intermingled in here. Some wells and stuff on the side, as well as a janitor and a prison, just because. And then as we get to the middle, it transfers over to Kryptonians, but it's the same exact concept. I wanted them to have the exact same setup as the Talapi. Alright, on to the next bit. So we have the Talapi nurseries. We have 4 Talapi nurseries because Talapi are more important to me than a lot of the other races, and they take a little bit longer to reproduce, and they also seem to die at a faster rate. I lose a lot of them, and I also lose a lot of Garthamis. So I had to build 4 of these, and they have a nice little warehouse right here filled to the brim with fruit so that they can get fruit right across the street and keep these babies fed. And then they also have 5 boyars, giving us 21,000 bows, making it so that people could have as many bows as they want. I could send everybody in the whole army with 8 bows and they'd be fine. And we've got a big army. I'll go over them in a minute because there's a lot of stuff. I want to go over the city first, then I'll go over the army, then I'll probably go over the regions. And this is going to be a longer episode. As they go along, they're going to become a little bit longer because there's so much to go over. And I'm honestly excited because there's so much stuff that I still haven't even filled out yet, and I still need to finish for my city. So, got some big plans. We have the physician here, just a big old physician to kind of keep this area. And there's a hospital somewhere over here, I think down south. We've got a bathhouse though, big old bathhouse, lavatory, and a barber. Their shrine or temple to Aetheri, as well as a massage parlor, of course, right next to it. I saw that the people at the inns called me a haven of sin. I think that has to do with these guys. It might be that. I don't know. But they said that we are a haven of sin. And that's perfectly alright with me, man. I'm fine with that. We've got a bunch of different housing over here. Why are there... Oh, what? Excuse me? These aren't supposed to be... Oh, because it took so long for me to get them built. That's why. Those are supposed to be, human houses. The Talapis already have a house over here. So what I do is I build little districts, spare housing for humans or Garthamis and then some Amevians just off to the side so that they have their own houses in this area. If they're working in this area, they don't have to go from all the way across the city from the human zone to this zone, or be homeless. That way, they still get their boost of being with a house and having all their furniture and everything. You can see we still have 32 homeless, but considering that I moved thousands, and you guys are going to see, this is just an empty zone that I filled out. We have so much to do, because I took away all of the walls that were in here that were distracting. I took them all away. I created larger roads, because when I tried to muster my troops, they got stuck on a lot of these things that were in the way. So I rearranged this setup here, put a food stall, some wells, and a couple of the speakers stayed the same, but the guard post and the stage moved over. We've got the training grounds all the same, but we upgraded the building, so it's grand wall all the way around. And we also went and put a tavern, a little restaurant, and a warehouse to support that as well. And like I said, the grand wall goes all the way around. It gets pretty crazy with what I've done in such a short period of time. We've got some housing for the cantors too, which I upgraded and changed. They got upset that I didn't have enough awe, so I said fuck you, and I built this amazing grand arena. This is one of the actual biggest you can build it. And I put a bunch of statues around it, gave them nice pools in front of it. We've got the water running through here, so that we have access to bathhouses. There's 2 big bathhouses here that are decently used. There's a lot of services that I really need to fill out that, if I look at, our happiness is at 93%, mostly because of services, like barbers, massage parlors, things like that, lavatories, and the bathhouses. But at least we've got taverns up to 54%, and our population is just constantly booming, so I have to deal with that. And there's this invisible bathhouse here, because this is a blueprint that I wanted to save. I think I actually did use it, so I can delete it now. I didn't want to leave this blueprint, because sometimes you'll lose a blueprint, and you can save them, but I've never done it, and honestly don't want to go through it. So I just paste it out somewhere, and then that's what I do. And I don't let them build it. Continuing on over here, though, we have the Cretonians. We have the 2 breeders for the Cretonians, and these guys are producing so many Cretonians that we're at 600, now we're at 900 since I started, which was like 2 hours ago. So that's pretty good compared to the rest of the races that have pretty much no population when it comes to that. Like, these guys, they're getting outpaced by the Amevians. I don't know why. I don't even think I have Amevian breeders. Yeah, I do. I have 3 Amevian breeders, but having 4 Tilapia breeders and they still can't keep up, it means that a lot of the Tilapias are dying. They may be dying in bow accidents, or it could be that they're getting sent out into the world to the Recon Battalion, which is out in the world, and they have some real force behind them, and I'll go over them in a minute. We have the Ration Maker, which is run by Cretonians over here, and then we have a little warehouse for it as well. I'll have to expand that because I'd like to have tons and tons of storage space. And it also appears like, yeah, we're low on herb, so they're going to need to get a transport delivering them herb over here so they keep that full, as well as this. Looks like they've got good access to meat, so that's fine. This, I'm very proud of. I went and built all of these wells here, or pumps. Look at that, that's beautiful. Nice little banana well shape here. Wells, pumps. God damn it, they're the same thing now. And then this stayed the same. I haven't really updated it or changed it, but we went over here and I placed all of our asylums over here. We still have 43 deranged people, but we have all of this space for them. I might have to expand it and double it over here. I don't know. But there is a lot of deranged people, and they are constantly needing more and more stuff all the time. And this area was a big death zone. A lot of people were dying, and they still are all the time dying over here from aging. I think that they die inside of the frickin' asylum just working. I don't know. But there's a lot of death that happens over here. Continuing on, nothing has changed in the Amevian zone, and nothing has changed really down here. But I did remove the Golden Human Zone. So this is where the Golden District was. The primary district. It's all gone. We removed it. We have the housing still for all these guys over here, like it was before. The wall was here. And then we have our warehouse, our janitor, which was over here. We moved it over here. Put a bathhouse over a little bit. It was like right here. I moved it over a little bit. And then the Temple of Athuri here. This is our biggest and bestest Temple of Athuri. It's still not able to keep up with everybody. I think it's because we are out of Sithalon. They need to sacrifice it constantly. And to get that, I had to capture a region, and really sad what happened. These guys basically paid me to not kill them anymore. And I took the money. I couldn't say no to that. So, on to the next bit. This is where the warehouses were. This is the entrance of our town, by the way. This is where it all started. So we have the warehouses that were here. You might be saying, well, where did they go? Well, I have a little clip. Magical clip stuff here. It took a long time, a long time of all of these people moving goods all the way over here. Yep, I moved them. I just picked them up and I moved them. It took a long ass time, and we eventually got them to move all of this stuff over here to their new final home, and the Grand Walls are all complete, so it's nice and kept. We have export depots all along the region here. I should be like cinematic because it's beautiful. It took me so much time, but I want to get back over here a little bit because I jumped ahead. This is where the janitor is. His warehouse. Some spare housing that fits this area. The theme, at least. Some nice law. We've got the Army Supply Depot, which is being stocked completely. This is like full to the brim with armor and all kinds of gear. And then we also have this here, which is basically it is all of the items. So we have clothing. This is brews. We've got rations. I have to check because I sometimes can't tell from the up top. I know what some of them are. That's obviously shields. We've got the leather armor. We've got metal armor. We've got war hammers, shields, swords. We have long swords, bows, and then we have 2 lower amounts of furniture and machine parts. They are for the catapults. So if I go into my army, you can't create a catapult, but if you are on the world army map, you can. And I'll show you guys in a minute. I think you can just like build them into your army. I don't know how many you can get for an army. Maybe you can get like as many as you please, as long as you have the resupply. But yeah, they are there so that in case I want to build catapults, I can in the battlefield. And we have the brew transport and the wine and the brew. They are 2 different resources. All filled up here. It's called Shade, and then there's Piva. And these are being transported to different warehouses near taverns, keeping the taverns stocked up. And you can see we have giant import depots completely full to the brim with them because I didn't want to look back and see that there was none in my stockpile, so I just decided to spend all my excess cash on that specifically. And we have some housing in here for humans just because we have a few transport depots, not a lot, but I do need to expand them and probably start sending fish to the other side of the city and eggs and other things like that. Doing this way, I could probably cut a lot of the labor costs, but honestly, you see I have 709 or 708 people spare, and I'm going for more population than less. So, to be honest, it's not a big deal to have them all working in warehouses, just walking around doing stuff. The idea is to spread them out as best I can. That's my goal, because if they all take one area up, they over-access on the one service, so the service just gets bogged down. And you can't keep up with them, and you have to build a bigger service, but certain services can't get any bigger than they are, like a well. So they kind of dictate how big an area should be. It's kind of stinky. I wish that the wells could get even larger or even more bombastic so that you can keep progressing. Because eventually at a certain point, you'll always have like a certain well that's just like half services and the rest are like decent. But as we go along, we have all of our export depots. These guys have all of the raw resources, and these are raw food that are being exported. And then we have the transport zone. I haven't decided what a lot of them are going to be transporting or where they're going to be transporting it, but they do have space for that and more down here. We have the new bakery zone. This is called the bread zone if I look at the map. And this little storage building, usually not full, but trying to keep it empty is challenging because look how much the bread they're making all the time. They are delivering it via this transport, and I'll probably build a second or add onto him so that he can deliver it to the bread basket. I want that to be at like 100,000, 200,000 bread, because we have 259,000 grain. We definitely could do with getting some of that bread turned into, or grain turned into bread, and then having that delivered to our people's mouths, and therefore their stomachs are full. Yes, exactly. That's how food works, and amazingly, it seems to be working pretty well so far. We've got a food stall. You could tell I've gone insane from playing too much Songs of Six. I played for probably like 5 hours now, and it's overnight too. But regardless, this game is so good, and I'm having such a good time. This is as far as I've ever gotten. I've never gotten this big. I've never been able to get a city this crazy, so it's definitely a fun first time for me. And we also went and built all of these houses here. I've got to actually adjust them. We're upgrading them here, and then we're going to give them to the humans, because they are the bakers. The baking humans. They work here, they live here, they get their services here, and there's some services on the side as well, just for them so that they can get them quickly and without any problems. We have the humans being made in this nursery area here, in 2 schools, and they're doing a pretty good job. We actually are keeping up with the amount of humans that are dying or being lost to retirement, so we're making more population than we are losing, which is good. You want to be in the green, and we've got that going with these 6 actually human nurseries, and then these 2 schools. Oh look, Scott, Obi-Wan, Sherlock, I can't read his name, but Sherlock something Cletus is living and working here. He's going to be one of our greatest minds, because here he is studying in the school, getting that education, and that helps them when they go on to university, which is something I have to actually build over here too. Get a little janitor, warehouse, physician, all this stuff is the same from when I had the rest home from the last episode. Look how freaking bombastic and busy this rest home is. These guys, all of these people with white hair, they're retirees. All these people dancing, they lived a long, healthy life. Under the rulership of Fiend, they lived a very happy life. And then they make it here. You can see the vast majority of the people in my city die from aging. Some people die from, obviously, accidents or brawls, but the vast majority die from aging. And we have food stall here, which is going to these guys. And we've got a barber and another... Oh, it's a big barber, actually. I thought it was 2 buildings. It's one big barber for these retirees at a giant tavern. Still not enough, though. You can see it's just never enough. They have a ton of service options in them, so I think I just need to expand it, maybe build another one here or something like that. But we have a lot of space in here for more buildings, because I haven't finished. I'm still working on it. We've got the warehouse for the food stall, as well as this warehouse for the janitor, and this guy also keeps all his resources for the market, and is a secondary transporter for alcohol. So the alcohol is transported from here to other places that necessarily couldn't be reached, because the warehouse only has a limit of 4, or sorry, the transport has a limit of 4. All of them technically do. So I couldn't deliver any more out of the transports up I had there, so I just have to deliver here, and then these guys take it from there to the other one downtown. And we've got a restaurant, little restaurant behind it, and we've got 4 smithies. Each of these smithies has 48 guys, the max amount that they have, and they're producing armor, falcatas, flanks, and warhammers. And you can see these guys are keeping them in here. They're taking them in, putting them on this transport, and each time this transport gets filled up, they deliver that via this road to here, filling this up. And now that this is full, they go over here and they fill this up. And the goal is to get these completely filled so that our warehouses are just filled to the brim, and we don't have to look back at armor or weapons, and we can just start to keep training armies on the world screen and doing things like that. Because if I have excess armor and crap that I don't care about, I don't feel too bad about training conscripts to like 50% and having them equipped with armor at that point, because it's something to do with all the resources we have, and I think that's kind of how late game should go. So we have the library over here, though, that we moved from the other half of the city, as well as the paper maker, which was another challenge in itself to move. I moved everything. So everything that was in here, the smelters, all of these buildings, gone. I took them out. I have been moving everything. You can still see the remnants of the old civilization here, kind of with the paper warehouse. But this is the only part that will stay the same. This central corridor bit, and probably these houses, because they are fitting to the area. And I don't want to really do too much. I wanted to just revamp the area, like I had said. So I went and I put a tavern here, which is the only tavern in the entire city that seems to be keeping up with the population of its area, which is astounding. But that's fine. We can kind of use this as the schematic for areas and start to put more of them everywhere. And then we have an inn. I went and made the inn much nicer and put it next to all of the services that they could possibly need: a hospital, bathroom, a physician, and a beautiful massage parlor, as well as more markets. And this all connects back up to where I was talking about before, the bathhouse. So it's all like kind of a circular motion. If they don't have a service near them, they will get to a service eventually on their way to somewhere. So that's kind of how I have it. And as I've gone down here, it starts to get really, really messy. And like I said, I expanded the wall all the way. It goes all the way. And it's going to go all the way like that too. But I haven't reached that point yet, because I have to finish moving the weaver, the tailor. I have to finish building a carpenter. I have to put in all of this stuff elsewhere. I have to also figure out what's my Sithlon problem, because I'm using it up too fast. I can't produce enough Sithlon to actually keep up with my mines. Or my temple, sorry. So that is something I have to deal with. And I've got to find a way to get these Garthumi into an organized fashion, because circular roundness is no longer an option. I don't care for it, really, personally. I do like to make like unique buildings like this. Like, I don't mind building things with a plot to them. Like, okay, they have hearths around this, and then they have wells in front of here. And with a square building, you can kind of get away with that more often than with the circular ones, just because it's the way I build. Like, if I look at this, I still kind of force things together. With the squares, I kind of spread them out a little bit more. I give myself a little bit more space. I don't know. I personally like the round, or the square over the round, so that's just how I've been building. And I think that's about it, because I went and just removed everything, and I put some more human houses over here, and I cut the whole mountain apart. I cut every bit of this mountain up with the intent of actually rectifying this area and making Machine Mountain even better, even nicer. So this will be the primary military zone. Crafting military goods and all that stuff, I think, is how I'm going to do it. And they're going to send it here. We'll have furniture and also mechanics doing stuff here, so they can stockpile this up. And then we'll also have everything that the city needs over here. So extra metal smelting, we'll have pottery, we'll have all of the extra furniture being made, fabric, etc. And there's a lot of stuff to be done. So don't expect this series to be going anywhere unless Jake releases V.66 tomorrow, which he doesn't seem to be doing anytime soon. So, yes. With that being said, I've got all of the city done. Onto the army. Look at this badass army we've got here. We've got, what is that, 12 divisions of 100 at 70% melee training. And they are pretty much all equipped. We're only lacking in a little bit of plate armor and a little bit of swords, but that's really nothing when it comes to the fact that everyone has 8 each. So they're going to be going into combat extremely heavy. But that 2.6 defense is what they're designed for. They are the shield wall. These guys are going to be protecting everybody and making sure that no one gets past them, while the Dundarians beat the living shit out of them. And we have 6 regiments of groups of them. We actually probably should pop them up. I just realized we have 1,400. That's what paused me. We're going to get 6 more. And the only problem with that is when you create a new regiment, they just pop in as like a human, your base group, and you have to go in and you have to actually like drag them down from where it is. It's really annoying. I wish that you could like select where they are going so that you don't have to do that. But it's not that bad. It's not the worst. It's not the end of the world. And then the way I do it to make a bigger group like this is you could click this and then shift click all the way through and then click edit. And then it's going to lower them to a point for some reason. You can just adjust that back up. Adjust this back up. It lowers it into in between what they were at. And then we're going to pop this all the way up to 8 as well because we want the Dundarian boys stacked with armor. We are going to be needing to make more plate armor, that's for sure. Those guys in that smithy, those 48 guys, are not enough. But that's just the start of what I'm doing. And we can see that we're going to get these 600 more Dundarians trained up so that we have 2,400 total melee infantry with a combined force of 1,200 archers. We have 600 of whom are very well trained Talapis at 60% archery training at 100 each. Then we have Cretonians, 150. Actually, we have more than 1,200 because these are 600, 12, 1,800 here. No, I overdid that. That's 3, 6, 900. Sorry, 900 Cretonians. So 1,500 archers. They aren't bad. They're 20% archery training. They're not going to be the best, but they are definitely going to be raining hell on people when they do fire because they're big groups. And we have, what is that? 6 groups of Garthimis. I almost called them Talapis. And we have 6 groups of Amevians as well. For their training, they're going up to 71 and 30 with ranged. They're smaller groups because they're going to be primarily focused on range. The Cretonians, they won't fire at will unless I get them in a good spot because they will fire on themselves because they're such large groups. They're mainly defensive units, but they have ranged for that purpose of if they get close and I need them to shoot, they will shoot. And you can see we have the Cantors at 100% melee training. Amazing. They have the most power and they have full armor and full equipment, warhammers. So if I look at them, when they come into battle, they're going to be doing massive offensive skill, but their force is 1,000. They have a ton of hit points, 285, as well as 11 pierced armor here. So basically they're going to be breaking people in half with one shot and sending them flying. And that's one thing that's making people not want to fight me. And look at them, here they are. They're odd jobbers because really there's no good job to give them. But I'm probably going to make them a smithy. A little smithy building nearby so that they can actually access that. And get a little bit of a happiness bonus. But for the most part, they are very happy. There's nothing really to make them happier. They are the happiest they're going to be. And then we're going to go to the world map here. And let's look for the recon force here. Recon force was trying to capture this region. And now that the walls are gone, we can actually send them back in. Recon force essentially is 174 right now, but there's supposed to be 200 total Talapis, 50-man groups each. This primary group here with the green bow is 100% training, and then each group below is 50. But they, for some reason, train up to 60%, and then they leave and go to the army. Not a problem. And you can see most of them have 70 or 80% experience, making them double the strength of the normal group that they would be facing. So when they're shooting way faster and much more quickly. Much more efficiently than the other troops would be. A lot of my towns are going to have weird names. Some of them I haven't changed. I have to go in and go like this and name them Grain Town. Like their purpose is named right there in the title. Grain Town, Fruit Town. Conscript Town was a conscript town, but then really I didn't need any conscripts because they're pointless for the most part, unless you can get an actual good support system going in your home region. I don't need them though. So I went and named a bunch of them. We have 40 regions, 40 different regions. We go all the way over here, and I've been focused on taking a lot of these regions down here. And now that these have split off from the main group here, this empire, I'm actually going to capture these two and then send my recon force across the Great Divide and capture one of these two, probably Lataxia here, because it doesn't matter which one, they're both the same, but this one's a little closer to my side. And we're going to send our guys down there, and we're going to start taking everybody out. We're going to take the south, and we're going to keep the north too. It's going to be very challenging to see if I can take the whole world. But when I came over here, this nation of Instria, they actually, where's their capital? Instria, here it is. Instria had Hoogstel, and I needed their Scythalon. They had a little bit of Scythalon deposit here. So I sent my mercenary army, which I paid for, and then I attacked them. And when I did, I beat them pretty firmly with the archery. And right after, they gave me this. Let's see if I could find it. Let's see. I gotta find it. Shouldn't have been 5 years ago. It's probably closer. There it is. Peace treaty. 7 million. And they gave it to me because they were so freaking scared. 7 million and 13 cotton. 13k cotton is not anything to really care about, but 7 million is how much they were willing to pay just so that I didn't continue my march on to their other few cities that they have. They have nothing. They really aren't anything to contend with me, but I felt bad, so I took the 7 million and I just let them be. I think they still hate my guts. Yeah, they hate my guts to the max. But at least they're not stupid like they used to be and just declare war for no reason, because they would lose that. They would lose that war very badly. Because we have our cantors, we have all of our money, we have all of our resources, our regions. And also, all of our people are wearing full clothing, by the way. If you look, that's why they're so colorful. We've got Garthemes and all these guys in blue and orange and green. They're wearing full clothing. So they have their maxed out clothing. Man, it's great. It feels really good to hit this point. I've been joking around in my 6th Discord, or sorry, in the Discord for Fiend, not in the 6th Discord. But that I want to show off my prowess in Songs of Six, and I think that this is definitely the city to do it. If I ever have to tell people my skill level in this game, I will send them to this specific part. Not this part, but this series. Because I have more to do this series. It's not done yet. But it's definitely getting there. I think I've got a couple more days, really, to work on it before I start to see actual real progress. And I'm working my way down. So it's going to start to look like right here. And then down this way. And then we're going to keep going until we reach the bottom. And then once it's finished, that's it. Once I hit that point, I'll start to attack every single region I can, sending mercenaries all across the world, trying to quickly capture everybody, denying any peace treaties, just going belligerent like I had lost my mind or something, like the Targaryens or something. Speaking of which, holy crap, yeah, if you're American, you surely have some crazy political scenes going on also. I don't usually comment on it, but it's insane what has happened. So, yeah, if anything happens in this world, which I really strongly doubt, I hope you all take care of yourself, because things are getting a little zesty on the politics scale as the election year ramps up. I'm not a very political person, as I'm a gamer, and there's really no reason to be. But I do have views and beliefs, and I think that everyone's personal views should matter the most. At least their personal safety and their lives, things like that. So I hope you all are doing well. I hope everybody is safe and taking good care of himself. Oh, hey, this is a good time to fucking fight these guys too. Kill some people, as I talk about not killing. But no, I think a lot of people are definitely probably stressed out with life and work and everything, and then to see some crazy ass political shit just pop off, it's a little jarring. It's a little jarring. So I hope everybody is well. I hope everybody's well. And I'm going to show you guys my tactic here, my stratagem for winning battles. You can see I've drawn them out to at least 2 wide, and I keep them at an angle. I try to keep them less of an angle, actually. I'll probably do it like this so that they don't accidentally shoot each other in the back of the head. So there's 175. We're up against 200, 250. According to the game, we're going to lose this battle. According to me, that is not going to happen. We can even speed the game up. You will see what happens the second they exit the tree line. They will become meat. There it comes. It doesn't even matter if they can get close or not, because they will just get blown away. The only reason why we're losing people anyways is because they're accidentally shooting each other in the back of the head. These guys don't even have bows or anything. But yeah, that's how this goes. I just send the recon force in there and hope that they don't kill themselves. I honestly have to make my Tilapia groups a little smaller, but I train them up to 50 just for the sake of sanity, so I don't have to think about how many I have. But yes, we easily crush rebel groups, release them for some extra chivalry, and then we send the force on to the actual region's capital, taking it and adding it to our collection. Adding it to our collection like General Grievous. It's gonna be great. Here we go. Mercy. And we can check what they're good for. Pretty much nothing. But I'll save that for the next one, as this episode has gone on plenty long. I hope you all are doing well. Like I mentioned before, I will see you in the next one. Thank you all for watching. And also be sure to give my video a like. All of you who make it to the end of the video, you guys are the people who matter the most. And if you give a like to the video, you actually tell YouTube that my video matters. And I appreciate that. I try to save this crap for the end of the videos because honestly, it's not my value, not my purpose. But if I can get to be a YouTuber and not have to frickin' work for a living, well, I'd still be working on YouTube. But not work for a corporation and hate my life, it would be much appreciated. So each little like helps. I appreciate ya, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.